two shakes.
They couldn't fit it in one. I said, I need a big cup.
Download them.
So how's the transition been for you? Now Jason's gone. How's this offseason going for you? How you're approaching potentially becoming a starter?
I mean, day 3 of OTAs here. So we're just starting to get into it, It does feel a little weird. Kelce's gone, and they moved my locker over into his, so obviously that's a little weird. And so, I went to the wrong locker a couple times, and I'm like, oh man, this isn't mine anymore. So, getting used to things. But yeah, it's fun getting back here, getting back into the groove of things. Like, obviously been working hard and doing everything you need to do in the weight room and on the field. But it's just fun being back here, building connections with new guys on the team. So that's kind of what this time is about, building your bodies up and getting in with the new coaches and new teammates and kind of connecting. That's our first pillar, getting together and learning more about each other.
This offseason, you made an effort to put on weight, to move the guard. Looks like you dropped some too now with the move back to center. Is that fair to say? How'd that happen?
I'm about this similar weight as what I was during the year. I dropped a little bit for the off season. I just like to drop a little bit in the off season, train a little lighter.
Going back to center?
No.
Okay.
What, Cam, your first 2 seasons with Jason, do you look at that and say, wow, how valuable is that? Or is that something you'll think about maybe down the line?
No, I think it's very valuable. I learned so much playing behind him my first year, and then this last year again, play guard, playing beside him, and just every single day there's something to learn. So it was just fun being in that room, being in that environment, and just learning. There's something every day. It's a very active room. It's really fun how Stout really sets up the O-line room. He gives everybody like an opportunity to speak and help coach, and it's not just to sit down and listen and hear what we're going to do for the day. It's everybody's involved in game planning, and so Kelce's voice really showed throughout the room. Everybody listened when he spoke, and it was really helpful and insightful. And so it's easy to follow somebody like that and learn from that. So yeah, it's just going to be a little different without him this year.
Is there something you can share that you learned from Jason that you can't wait to apply, especially to playing the center position?
It's hard to pinpoint any one thing. I think just in general how he carried himself, how you can, go about your day and how to work out, how to take care of your body and how to juggle so many different things and manage. That man had a lot of stuff going on. It was impressive to see how he could juggle and manage his time and still be there for his teammates, be the ultimate teammate and captain for us.
Has there been any outreach from Kelce or Stout in the transition this offseason? Any advice or any outreach from them?
Yeah, I think there's obviously constant support from Kelce and Stout. They're gonna be there and help me throughout this process.
What's the message?
There's work to be done. That's the message. I think it's the same message every offseason. I don't think any offseason's different from any other one. You want to go into every offseason and try to get the most out of yourself and become that much better of a football player and learn that much more. So I think it's just like a day-by-day mentality approach. Can you get 1% better every day? And I think that's what we're all here trying to do.
It hasn't happened overnight, of course. You had 2 years to prep for this, but how do you deal with the pressure, the burden of, for lack of a better term, for taking over for Jason there?
I'm just, at the end of the day, just be myself. I'm not trying to be somebody's replacement or somebody's next person. I'm just trying to be myself. Can I be the best football player I can be in wherever position they put me? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not worried about anything else besides what I can control, and I think that's all I got to worry about in the end of the day. I think when you start putting in those perspectives and those terms, and people like to compare, and it's just, you just put different things on your shoulders that you need to carry, and really it's like, what can I do today? What can I do to learn? What can I do to get better? and how can I be the best football player I can be, and not how can I be what he was, you know? What are we going to do tomorrow? So that's how I got to look at it.
Because of all the extra responsibility at the center position, do you find it helpful that you do have some experience in the league before taking over that job?
Definitely. I think it was so fun, like being able to play guard this last year and being able to be on the field, that's going to help me more than anything. I think just getting actual reps, being on the field, being next to guys. So then, like, if I do step into that spot and whoever are the guards next to me, like, I can help them because, like, I was in that spot. Just, I don't know, getting experience. I think, like, I was lucky to have been here 2 years, and so obviously every year you strive to get better and be a little bit better every year, and that's what we're looking forward to this year.
How will your relationship with Jalen Hurts need to change?
No, I mean, it's been good. It's just fun getting back here and seeing him. That dude works so hard here, and it's fun that the whole offense is in there together, getting to see everybody work, and I think this is when people have relationships and they grow it because you're going through connecting and struggling and working through together and doing fun things while we're working out outside the weight room and so on.
Is there a sense of excitement about being a center again, too?
Say that again?
Is there a sense of excitement for you to be back at the position, it's your natural position?
There's a sense of excitement that I'm here playing football with these guys and under these coaches. I don't think it matters where I'm at. I'm just glad I'm on this team. Playing for these coaches that I am and playing with these teammates that I have. Like, I don't think it matters where they put me. I'm pretty fired up to be playing a sport for my job. It's pretty awesome.
And in that regard, you've watched a lot of your teammates get big contracts this offseason. You're getting close to where they were at in terms of being here and getting that kind of thing. How exciting is that to watch?
I'm so fired up about everybody getting contracts. It's great. Like, they are awesome. They deserve all the money they get. But for myself, I'm just worried about what I can do this year. I saw we signed Saquon Barkley. Did you guys see that? I'm pretty fired up about that. So, I mean, yeah, I get to go out there and play this year, and that's what I'm worried about, what I can do this year and let that stuff take care of it.
Where's your comfort in handling blitz pickup and setting protections? Was that something you did at Nebraska, and will that be something you do here?
Yeah, no, I did that in college, and my O-line coach helped me a ton in college, and so it wasn't a foreign subject coming into here and doing it. It's a lot of similar stuff and similar ways of doing it. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with handling that.
Any first impressions of?
You mentioned the locker earlier. You were talking about being myself. I can only be myself. How do you go about that? And in terms of, I mean, because some of those things are going to be unavoidable in terms of, I don't know, how people view you, how just being around the building with someone leaves something indelible. How do you kind of, what other ways are you finding yourself trying just to establish who you are?
I think it's just be normal, be myself, do what I can. Don't get caught up in the hype. Don't get caught up in the negativity. If you read the bad stuff, you got to read the good stuff. So it's like just worry about where you are, where your feet are, what you can control, and not what others are saying about you.
See how much stuff Kelce left in his locker? Were there any leftover belongings you had to clean up or anything like that?
No, Tony does a great job of clearing that out. That man's the best. Taking care of that locker room. It is clean every single day for us. It's incredible that he got all of Kelce's stuff out of there. I don't know how many truckloads it took, but that's pretty impressive.
Is there more space?
Saquon, what of your, I know it's day 3, but what are your early impressions of him and the force that he can be with this offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, so far it just seems like a really great guy. It's fun getting to know him. Talk about, what his interests are, where he grew up, not too far from here. So, like, it's just fun hearing from that. I grew up watching him in college. Like, it's like one of the best running backs to ever go through college at Penn State there. So, like, it's fun being teammates with somebody like that. And he's a good dude. So, I'm excited to, get to know him a little better. Same thing with all our new teammates.
Who took over your old locker?
Tyler is over there now.
Well, what's it like working with him? Obviously, he's entering his second year, playing the position you played. How much are you helping him with the transition?
Yeah, I mean, he knows anything that I can help him with, like I'm going to, and, we're all working together right now. We're not really too worried about, like, when we get to the season right now. It's just kind of what can we do in the weight room, how can we get conditioned, and what we can do to become better. But, yeah, we have a really good O-line room in that fact that, like, everybody's willing to help and nobody's too big. Like, it's fun being in that room because nobody's afraid to ask for help and nobody's too big to give it. It's fun being in a selfless room. We got a lot of really good dudes in there.
What's your first impression of Kellen Moore?
He seems very smart, so I'm excited to get into some meetings and get to learn a little bit more about what he has to offer. I'm very excited about how he can spin our offense and take what we're doing really well and what we aren't doing as well, and just kind of mesh some things together.
How long will it take you and Jalen to get comfortable with shotgun snaps?
I mean, if the snap's good, he's catching it, so shouldn't be too much of a transition.
Good. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cam.
Nice canvas.
going on, everybody?
Hey, Joe. Long time.
Not too long.
Jalen, you talk a lot about learning lessons from things on the field. Now that you've had a few weeks or a few months since the end of the season, what was maybe the biggest lesson you took from how that season ended?
I think everything in every situation, everything that we experience, obviously there is something that you can learn from it, and I think the importance of us just continue to navigate things together, stay together, the importance of the work, the foundation that we have for ourselves, and the culture that we live by. I think those things have kind of reinforced. I think those things have come up in terms of importance. And so, you have the off-season program, you have every individual in this building attacking different things to try and better themselves and help the team and understand, you get to a point where everybody's given a role and everybody's understanding their responsibility they hold for this team. And so just attacking that, but I think the number one thing is understanding the work comes first and everything.
As far as the coordinator change, how did you deal with that?
I'm sorry?
As far as the coordinator change, how did you personally deal with that and react to it?
Well, yeah, I think it's been a minute since we've spoken. I think Brian, I think the best of him. He's been a huge part of my development and my time here as an Eagle, and it's been 3 years. It's been a starter for 3 years, right? Yeah, he's been a part of all of that, and so I'm going into the fourth year of that this year, it'll be great, but I think he's still more than capable of being a big time head coach in this league. I think he's on trajectory to do that still. I just didn't think it was the right time for him, and that's that.
What's your thoughts and relationship with Kellen Moore and Nussmeier? What are your thoughts about working with them? Yeah,
I'm excited to work with him. I know they have a history of doing really good things, and I've actually, Coach Nuss recruited me to Florida back then, and when I was coming out of high school, so I have a pre-existing relationship with him. We're just all excited. I know they're kind of finalizing some of the things and crossing their T's and dotting their I's in terms of what it's exactly going to be. But I'm just all ears. I'm a sponge, and I think there's some beauty in that.
Have you been involved in that process as they kind of figure out what it's going to look like?
I'm just in sponge mode. I'm letting them do what it is they're going to do, and then we kind of adjust from there. I think the thing that we all have to understand is the importance of a foundation in something, and so I want the coaches to declare their foundation in terms of what they want something to be, how they want it to look, and then obviously you're gonna adjust from there. I think when that foundation isn't as strong as you want it to be, it may not last as long or be as good in the end, and so that's something that we don't want to happen. So I'm just trusting the process in terms of what they're doing, what Coach Kellen is doing, Coach Doug, and everyone, and I'm just being a player, trying to learn as much as I can. I think the one thing individually as a player, I've always had a desire for is just growth and development. And I think that's allowed me to have these opportunities I have now. Being here at this place and just being able to continue and grow over the years of my career. And so that's what I desire to do, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to do that with our coaches.
Where were you when you found out about Saquon, and what was your reaction? What do you think he can do for the offense?
Yeah, I think he's a hell of a player. He's on this side now, so that's cool. And, I think for him, even in the short time of us having OTAs, you hear about the type of person he is, the type of leader he is in a room, the energy he brings to a room, and that's something that you can appreciate, and it's something I appreciate already. Just us, competing in sprints, or competing on a squat rack or doing things like that where we're challenging one another. Those are the things that set the thermostat for what the team is supposed to follow, and everything we're talking about doing is just competing, and going through these moments together and experiencing these things together and really pushing one another. And so I think he's been great with that. I built a good relationship with him just in a short notice, and we'll continue to build on that.
So you're connecting with Saquon a little bit away from the facility already. How important was that for you to start that sort of relationship?
I think that's very important. That's very important. I think that's very important for all of those guys. Taking the time and taking those moments to go out there and get the work in. I think the actionable things on the field are so important because that's where you develop trust. That's where you develop that chemistry. And like I said, I know for myself in a short notice what type of mentality he has, and we'll continue to just kind of develop what that looks like for us all together. We have a ton of opportunity in front of us, but I think the most important thing is the mentality that the people have in the building, and so you want to go get people that have a sense of culture about themselves, have a mentality about themselves, and I think that's exactly what we're doing.
Until 2022, you had never been in the same system for more than 1 year, dating back to high school, and you've expressed.
Sorry.
Sorry. Until 2022, you'd never been in the same system for more than 1 year, dating back to high school, and you expressed the importance of having some continuity. You're now having system change again. How are you viewing that in light of what you had said previously about having?
I think as a player, I definitely yearn for the sustainability and the consistency there. As a coach Stout serves for his offensive line room. As a quarterback, I yearn for those things in the play caller and the quarterback coach, because you kind of see how consistency in those areas can breed excellence, and his track record kind of shows for that. So that's definitely something that I desire. I find myself in a situation very similar to college in terms of having a constantly revolving thing and door in terms of coordinators and coaches, but I've always managed to have success in it. So that's always been a good thing because you've been able to learn from people and apply it, and kind of take what applies to you. But in the end, I think that is important. We are where we are, but some of those things are kind of surface level in terms of what we can really accomplish. So I definitely do desire that consistency, and when you go win, they're probably going to leave. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. So I embrace all ends of it. I do desire that for sure.
Yeah.
And
you have to learn
what it is.
Terminology.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. And I'm excited for that.
You've lost a lot of veteran leadership in Jason and Fletcher. Obviously, your position, by the nature of it, demands leadership, but do you feel an increased importance on that with no Jason, Kelce, and Fletcher Cox?
I don't think you can replace a guy like that. But I think we got special guys here, and I think we're going to get guys that have that sense of culture and mentality about themselves and that are truly hungry to go out there and go do great things. Coming from the OUs and the Alabamas, and you kind of look at where these guys have come from, where my teammates have come from. They come from places rich in mentality and culture and winning, and so that's what it's all about. You can get a group of like-minded men together, chasing the same goals and chasing the same things, and ultimately putting the work in, special things will happen.
You said at the end of last year that different years require different things from you and from everybody. What do you feel like you need to do different this year in that regard that, to what you said?
I think really, really leaving it to no one else to set the culture and how I want it to be. Communicating that with everyone above, and communicating that with my teammates, and carrying it. I have a standard I want to play to, and I want to play to that all the time. And so, in the end, the number one thing you're going to establish that with is with work. And I think you never want to get caught, chasing anything, chasing a goal, chasing this dream. Like, we all going to have those. But just be where your feet are and work, and I think that's exactly where we are right now in terms of, what I'm on. And I know guys like AJ and Smitty and Saquon and Brandon Graham and, going down the list, everybody's on that. So everybody's eager, everybody's working, and, we're just trying to build it.
Last one. With Kelce retiring, first, what was your reaction? And second, will you want to have a little more say in setting protections and in terms of what happens with blitz pickup?
Yeah, I think for Kels, he pump faked us a couple times, and he's had a great career. I think from my experience of playing with him, I've learned a lot from him for sure, and that's something that I'll use in the future. In terms of specifically getting into the nuances of what we do up front, I've always been eager to learn and apply some of those things that I've learned in the past and use them. Whether I'll be coached to or not, that's not up to my decision.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you, Jim.
We'll have Dallas.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Dallas.
What's this offseason been like for you? How have you prepared for this? And knowing that you guys have another piece in this offense with Saquon, how are you adjusting to this, and where do you see this offense going?
Yeah, the offseason has been good. Spent the first part of it just trying to get the body back to normal, get the bumps and bruises out. And then, we just started up recently, and it's been really fun getting back into the building with this group of people. We're all really hungry to, set the standard for what's to come this season. So it's been good getting back in the building with the guys, being able to just see everybody and compete with everybody. And just the early start of the work has been really good, and really happy with how it's been starting.
How did you find out about Saquon?
Saquon, golly, I think I probably Twitter, saw it on there, and that was a really exciting thing for me. Being in the part of the blocking scheme and stuff like that, having a running back of Saquon's, stature, style of running, his abilities is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to open things. It's going to make my job as a tight end a little bit easier, and hopefully it opens the field for everybody. A playmaker like that is going to draw attention, and I'm really excited to see what he does, and I already know he's going to add a lot to the team. Being in the weight room with him, being on the field with him, doing stuff with him. He's a tremendous guy with great leadership ability, and he wants greatness. He wants to be the best, and I think he's going to help carry people to become better and better.
What's your early impression of Kellen Moore in the meetings that you guys have had? What's your early impression of him in the offense he's installed?
Yeah, I've been able to talk to him a little bit here and there, but it's so early in the process of OTAs that we haven't been able to do that. Having the same head coach, we didn't start as early as some people, so got to know him a little bit, and I would just say his track record speaks for itself. He's been a good coordinator in the league, and I'm excited to sit where you guys are and let him explain what differences, what things he wants to bring, and ways that he can help us is going to be really exciting, really fun to, just kind of see where he can help bring the offense.
Yesterday, how I talked about the importance of players playing their whole career here. You're one of the players playing on an extension. How have you seen that working yourself around the building, other teams, and other players around the organization?
Yeah, obviously, since I've been here, we've had some really good homegrown talent. Brandon Graham comes to mind, Jason Kelce. It seems like the people that get to the second, the third contracts at a place like this, they have great careers here. They're really looked up to by the younger players, by the people upstairs. So just being able to come in here, come to work every day, and be able to bring people, with you as you're getting better, be able to bring people with you. And I think if you can do that, you can stay here for a long time and you can help this team win games. And Brandon Graham's a perfect example of it. It's so cool that, his lift doesn't start till 11, but he's usually here at 8:30, greeting the offense as they walk through the door for the workout. And he's just so excited to be here. And you see the joy of that at a 14, 15, whatever year he's going into. It's pretty special. And, if you can have people like that in the building for, the 14, 15 years, whatever it is, I think it just helps the culture of the team stay where you want it to be.
You mentioned how long do you think of, to follow up on that real quickly, just how often do you think of the long term in your sense of your career? It seems like a lot of it's so day to day. So when there's like kind of a culture of people being around a long time, how does that affect how you think about your career in its totality?
Yeah, obviously there's so many factors that can go within your career. You never know when it's going to be your last play. You never know when it's going to be your last deal. Obviously, I love Philadelphia and I hope to be here for my entire career, but you just never know what's going to happen with your career. But the people that are able to stay in one situation for a long time, I think it just shows the character of the person and, kind of like that. But I try not to look too far ahead of it, I'm under contract for a few more years, and I'm going to do everything I can to help this team continue to win games and, help put this team in the best position possible.
You mentioned that veteran leadership with BG. Lane is still here, but you guys did lose Jason and Fletch. As a veteran, do you see that as sort of your job maybe to step up from a leadership standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, since I've been here, Fletch and Jason have been captains my whole time here, and they've been people that, set the standards, set the temperature in the building. When Kelce didn't like something going, how something was going, he made sure to step up and tell it, and Fletch the same way. Losing those two people are obviously big losses. Both of them are going to be Hall of Famers, things like that. So stepping out of the building, that's going to be loss, but it's something that happens to teams each and every year. We lost other people throughout my career that were big leaders on this team, and it's something that, as you step up, you grow into it. Going into year 7, I've been trying to continue to grow my leadership, but obviously with losing those two people, it's going to be another big step that I get to take to help get this team to where it needs to be.
What was the range of emotion watching Avante's offseason?
Man, it was everywhere. I fortunately a good friend of his and spent a lot of time and got to hear about the process and everything like that. So, it probably wasn't the easiest off season for him, but as a friend of mine, I tried to keep his head high, his spirits high, and know that he's got to control what he can control. And for me personally, I'm really excited for him to be back here, and I'm gonna hold him to a high standard, knowing that he's got to play really well for us and for himself as well. So I'll do everything I can to keep him going and let him have a great year.
How do you view your career entering season 7 in light of the injuries? Maybe some of the things you said before about where you view yourself among the rest of the other tight ends in the NFL, and reaching maybe some of those goals that you'd set for yourself.
Yeah, obviously I have high goals for myself. You want to make the Pro Bowl, you want to make All Pro. You know, it seems like some of my best seasons has been cut short, or, you know, I had an injury in between where I wasn't able to get all those. But ultimately for me, you know, I want to do whatever I can to help this team win. You know, we got so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Whatever role is assigned to me and whatever the coach has asked me to do, I'm going to do that and give it my all. So, you know, you can look at stats in the league in a lot of different ways and say, you know, maybe I haven't got to where I want to be, but when I go back and look at games and rewatch the film, I feel like I've been playing at a really high level, you know, ever since I got here, and I think I can still continue to grow in my game for sure.
With Jack leaving, how has Grant kind of shown you his evolution over the last couple of years?
Yeah, you know, Grant, he's gotten continually better each and every year, each and every offseason. You see him improving, working on things. So it was sad to see Jack go. He was a great friend of mine, but you know, I'm really excited for the opportunity for Grant and the other tight ends we have in the room. You know, it kind of opens up that tight end 2 spot for the taking, and you know, I'm really excited to, you know, see the other tight ends compete and grow, and just as a group continue to push each other to try to become the best we can all be.
You guys added CJ, who's got a lot of experience. What are your first impressions of him? Have you met him yet? And what do you think he can add just from that experience?
Yeah, I've known CJ for a few years now, and you know, he's a great dude. He understands the game, and you know, he's going into year 10 or year 11. You know, he has a lot of experience on the field. So just to have another veteran leader in a young group is going to be big, and you know, I'm going to pick his brain and see how he can help me in different ways. But he's going to be great for the room, and I'm excited to have him here.
Anything else?
Thanks, Kelce. Appreciate it.